Hey, teens. So, how long have you been a Christian? Maybe you grew up going to church and decided to follow Jesus as a little kid. Maybe you're brand new to this church thing and you're just checking out Christianity. Or maybe you're somewhere in between. But if you consider yourself a Christian, how mature is your faith? In other words, are you consistently growing closer to God, becoming more like Jesus, and helping others to do the same? In the Bible, Paul was a mature Christian and was trying to mentor a young man named Timothy to grow in his faith. He tells him here that even though he's young, this is what a mature Christian should look like. In 1 Timothy 4:12, he says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in life, in love, in faith, and in purity." So does this verse describe your faith? Is your speech full of love, your thoughts and actions full of purity? Are you so mature in your faith that you're setting an example for others to follow? Or maybe you're the exact opposite of this verse, and it's frightening to think of anyone following your example of what a Christian should be. Maybe you sometimes just feel a little stagnant or sluggish in your faith, like you aren't going anywhere. God may feel distant to you, or Christianity may seem boring or meaningless at times. If you do feel like you're stuck in a rut with your relationship with God, how do you get out of it and become more mature in your faith? Well, the first thing you need to know is that you have to do more than just go to church or youth group to have a mature faith. Teenagers say to me all the time, "I go to church and youth group every week, but I still feel distant from God. What more can I do?" Well, I tell them that going to church and youth group's great, and I hope all of you are coming every week. But if that's the only thing you're doing, you're going to end up with a very immature faith. So, what else can you do to have a mature faith? Well, first, you need to be spending time with God every day. If I were to just spend 2 days a week talking with my wife, we wouldn't have a very close relationship. Well, the same is true for our relationship with God. We can't just go to church once or twice a week and think our relationship with God will grow any deeper. We need to spend time with Him every day reading about God in the Bible, talking to God through prayer, confessing our sins, telling Him our needs, and thanking Him for what He's doing in our lives. The easiest way I found to make this a habit is to pick the same time to spend with God every day. It could be in the morning when you wake up, or night before you go to bed, or a specific time in the afternoon. But if you keep the same time consistent every day, it becomes a habit. Next, you need to be spending time with mentors. By mentors, I mean older and more mature Christians that God has put in your life. They could be your adult leaders at youth group or any older Christians at church. They could even be your own parents. A mentor is someone who could be there to listen to you and give you good advice. But what a mentor can do to really help mature your faith is point out your weaknesses. A good mentor may tell you things you need to change about yourself, and they may be things that you don't want to hear. But if you want to be mature in your faith, you need to be humble enough to listen, think, and pray about how you can put their advice into practice. Finally, you just need to go out and start spending time doing ministry. By ministry, I mean serve somebody. This could be helping out with the little kids at church on Sundays, going on local or global service trips with the youth group, or even by sharing your faith with your friends. I guarantee there is no better way to mature your faith than to let God use you in the life of someone else. The good news is that you don't have to know everything about the Bible to grow and mature in your faith. That will help, but your faith will definitely grow in maturity if you would just serve somebody out of the faith you have right now. Like I said before, Timothy had a great mentor in Paul, and thankfully, Timothy listened to Paul, took his advice, and got involved in doing ministry for others. Near the end of Paul's life, this is what he had to say about Timothy. "I have no one else like him who will show genuine concern for your welfare. For everyone looks out for their own interests, not those of Jesus Christ. But you know that Timothy has proved himself because, as a son with his father, he has served with me in the work of the gospel." I don't know about you, but I want someone to describe my faith like this someday. So in the meantime, let's keep maturing our faith by spending time with God, listening to the advice of people who love us, and helping other people mature in their faith as well. So pause this video and talk about the following questions.